Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all of you have had a fabulous day. Welcome to yet another informative and inspiring session brought to you by Brisker Education. I'm your host, Richard Daniel, who would kick things off for the day. So as much as all of you are present in this webinar, you would be wondering what the overall purpose of this webinar or the essence of the webinar is all about. So before we kick off, there are a few housekeeping rules. You won't be able to talk to the speakers, but you can use the Q&A button below your screen to post your questions for the panelists. I will take your questions with the relevant panelists towards the end of the webinar. Is accounting still a profession for the future? Would the world of automation and technological advancement take control of the future? Would jobs in accountancy be obsolete or redundant? How to prepare for it if that is the case in such a context and many more formalities. So we are confident indeed that you can obtain answers to all potential concerns, attributions, or even fears you may have surrounding accounting, since all of these would be covered in today's session. We are also confident that collectively we can contribute with expertise knowledge from three of the most outstanding personalities here with us today. So now I'm sure all of you by now want to know who these unique personalities are, right? So first and foremost, let me introduce to you our first panelist, Jehan Perinpanayagam, a dynamic and passionate CEO from Sri Lanka. Jehan Perinpanayagam brings a wealth of experience and expertise to the table with over 25 years of industry knowledge, including 17 years in the IT business process management sector. He is also the chairman of ACCA, Sri Lanka, and currently he serves as the CEO of Informate Private Limited. Let's warmly welcome Jehan to the forum. Our second panelist, Saman Srilal, an experienced partner in audit and assurance, specializing in risk management and finance, serving diverse industries and government sectors. Saman is a council member of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and occupying the managing director's position at RTA Sri Lanka. With a wealth of industry knowledge and expertise, Saman brings valuable insights to our webinar today. Please welcome Saman Srilal to join the panelists.
Thank you. Good evening.
Now coming to the third and final member to complete the panel. Our third panelist is none other than Olu Jayasooriya, who is an experienced business entrepreneur specializing in financial management and outsourcing. Olu offers unique outsourced accounting solutions to the Australian and New Zealand markets through Brisker. Olu is also an associate member of the Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and is co-founder and chief operating officer of Brisker. Please welcome Olu Jayasooriya to the panelists.
Thank you, Daniel.
So here we are, the members of the panelists. Now to kick off this discussion, when we take the world of accounting, it is of immense vitality to foresee the current trends in accounting in order to ascertain where one stands in the world of accounting. It is from seeing such trends that individuals tend to go on in pursuing careers. Saman, you have been in the industry for a while, or should I say quite some time, years and years. I think you are the best person to answer this question. So how has the role of accountants changed and what factors have influenced this evolution, Saman?
Good evening, and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity for Brisker having a very timely topic with us and have discussions today, this evening. So thank you again. And going back to your question, role of accountants changed in the past decade, and what factors influence. Now, there are various factors influence this accounting profession due to the technology advancement, then the cloud computing, then the big data analytics, and the shift from the compliance to advisory services, regulatory changes, globalization, cybersecurity concerns, and emphasis on the soft skills. And there are various kinds of factors and the sustainable accounting, and I can say a number of. However, now how it has been changed because of this, the infrastructure and also the remote working culture due to the COVID and also the virtual culture. The accountants and many other professionals had, work, differently, and the using the different kinds of tools and virtual collaboration platforms. So it's an amazing platform the accountants today has created. So in overall, what I see that the technological advancement, regulatory changes, and the need to provide more strategic advisory services. So accountants now really play a proactive and dynamic role in supporting businesses and financial decisions and navigating the complexities of the modern financial landscape. So in nutshell, actually, the accountants are there as the key professionals in the decision-making process of the business paternity today. Over to you, Daniel.
I totally agree, Saman, because after all, accountancy is vital irrespective of what career you're doing, right? Because here's the thing, in every company, you always get an accounting department, because accounting department is the crux of any company, as it foresees the eventual growth of the company, is what you were saying, Saman. So having said that, what trends could we potentially see in the future, Saman? What do you think?
Actually, in the future, there are a lot of areas where we need to concern when come to the accountants. You know why now? Because of this remote culture and also the automation and also this artificial intelligence. Because this rise of automation and artificial intelligence has been transforming the accounting profession. Routine and repetitive tasks like, sort of the reconciliation, data entry, and basic analysis now be performed by the AI. So these tools are actually freeing up accountants to focus on more complex and strategies aspects of their work. There are various kinds of strategies they are using, and specifically the cloud-based accounting and also your business processes, and also the regulatory changes has become a more and more complex environment. So accountant today is actually in a way, because of this virtual culture and also the remote access controls. Regulator also bringing a lot of compliant testers and the changes, and as a result, at a certain level, a lot of areas accountants should look into, especially the regulatory framework. And when you come to the demand for this, the advisory services, automation handles routine tasks. There has been a growing demand for accountants to actually provide strategic advisory services. Some of the areas which we have seen now, in my experience, clients expect accountants to offer insights on financial planning and the risk management, or also the business growth strategies. So role of accountants and as trusted advisors, they actually build up their strength and further. Daniel?
Yes, I once again, it is, thank you very much, Saman. It was a very, I would say it was a transparent answer which shed a lot of light. So yes, indeed, as you mentioned, with AI and, technology taking over to this modern day century. So indeed, accountancy remains vital as it was, since the 13th century, because it other than the fact that it, as you said, that it eliminates the basic concepts, such as bookkeeping, the vital role of advisory responsibilities still remains. Now, upon undertaking of a reflective journey in the world of accounting, so we find that the impact of technological advancement and automation since the advent of the internet to have made a positive attribute as much as a negative one, including to, let's be honest here, the redundancy of jobs having been replaced with technology. One may tend to, or let me revert that for you, we may tend to fret with that dreadful thought of, will or can accountancy ever be replaced with technological advancement? So when it comes to addressing such questions in the technological aspect, I would say, Jehan, as you are an all-rounder, having extensive experience not merely in accounting, being in the member advisory committee in ICT, BPM, which is why you are the ideal person when it comes to addressing such concerns, especially of a technological aspect. How are advancements in AI and automation changing the traditional roles of an accountant, Jehan? What is your take on this?
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you very much for inviting me. It's a privilege to share this panel with Saman and with Olu. I have huge respect for what Priska is doing in the education space, and I think you're fulfilling a real need in terms of education, which is very much what the market requires. Now, I've been in the accounting and finance industry for 26 years, and I've seen different trends. Now, when I joined John Keel's 26 years ago, if I could give one example, the group cash flow statement was done by the GFD, Group Finance Director, Anusha Kumarasamy at that time. She used to personally handle this. And a lot of the financial statements required senior intervention. Today, if you look at the group cash flow statement, the most person is very new in the organization, in the finance team, can generate it directly from SAP. A lot of the functions that I learned as a student, things like trial balance preparation, preparing the financial statements, bank reconciliations, invoice processing, a lot of those work, even the management accounts, accrual analysis, are directly generated off the ERP system. So to that extent, those tasks have been taken over by technology. However, if you see, has jobs reduced? No. As Saman said, actually the finance headcount has increased. So what has happened periodically is that new roles emerge. Now there is more demand for information. There is more information on analysis. People are at CEO levels, board levels. There is a real need for information, on-time information. And it has become a more complex, more dynamic world. You're looking at international taxation, international transactions, cross-border transactions, new regulations. As someone said, you have sustainability reporting. So new work has emerged. So yes, some part of it has got automated. The ERP systems and other systems have taken over some tasks, but new roles. So the demand for accountants, for our profession, has actually increased world over. And what we are seeing in different parts of the world, we work with different parts of the world, Europe and so on, there is a shortage of talent. And that is a huge opportunity for Sri Lanka because, like you said, I'm in the IT BPO industry. And one of the industries we want to grow is accounting, finance and accounting outsourcing from Sri Lanka. It's a huge opportunity. Right? So I think there's a massive demand for accountants. All of us, my company is recruiting, Olu's company is recruiting. If you look at the BPO companies like Haley's, HConnect, they're all looking for people.
Yeah, true.
So, so definitely, some tasks will get replaced, but new tasks, and these new tasks are more exciting, will actually enrich the life of the accountant. So today, some of the demands that are coming are for detailed analysis, for forecasting, for data science. I heard the former president of SEMA, is a person of Sri Lankan origin, Aubrey Joachim, said, the accountants will transform into data scientists. That's his view. But it's going to be futuristic. It's going to be the principal advisor to the board and the CEO. So it's going to really transform into a dynamic, exciting role. And maybe in the upcoming questions, I will cover some of the future skills that you require to be able to ready for the transformation.
Thank you very much, Jehan. It was for elaborating, on the answer. I believe it was crystal clear to all of us, to the entire audience. And also, Jehan, yes, to reiterate, in addition, to what you said, yes, of course, it is going to be an exact match, because, as you said, some tasks, some basic tasks, such as bookkeeping and other formalities, will tend to get automated. But yet, the most important aspect of it, which is the advisory side of it, we can't do it. We can't automate it, since it's a huge risk. So because of that, it will always be something which has to be done by efficient and effective accountants. And I believe that with the ongoing generations, I would say the newer generations are becoming more and more developed. I don't think they are looking for anything traditional. They are looking for more opportunities which are more exciting and new to them, which is exactly what this particular technological advancement and evolution is offering to them. So when it comes to this data-centric world driven by technology, Jehan, how can data-driven decision-making enable accountants leverage their skills to add more value?
Sure. So coming to the advisory role, right now, previously, maybe a couple of decades ago, if you talk to some of the renowned business leaders, they would often say how gut feel decisions, right, help them. But today the world has progressed and it has become far more challenging, far more competitive, and far more complex. So it's not possible to rely on gut alone. You need data. And today the world has more data than ever before. We are collecting a lot of data, and that's why the term big data emerged. And they say data is the new oil. So today, one of the highest paying jobs that is emerging is in data science. World over, there's a huge demand. So my advice is for the young accountants who are listening here is to first learn, you must master Excel, advanced Excel, be able to analyze, slice and dice data, then learn Power BI. Today, all of these tools are available to you free of charge on a variety of platforms. You can very, very easily master some of these. So there is no excuse today for not being able to master PowerPoint, Excel, Power BI. Then you will be able to tell the story behind the data. Right. So Power BI helps you to visualize. Then there are other tools, for instance, like Python. So whilst it's not necessary for you to master some of these technologies as an accountant, having some level of understanding of this will help your future. Today, we are finding a lot of our young people in our organization are Power BI trained so that they can do some amazing things with data in terms of presenting it. Then you must work on your communication skills. Very strangely, I would say that communication skills is the single most important skill that an accountant requires. In fact, a modern professional requires. And if you are able to go and convince a board, if you need to convince a board, you need to be able to tell the story behind the numbers. You need to be a master communicator. Right? So I would really advise all the young professionals here, keep working on your skills, continuous professional development. If you are not doing 5 hours of reading a week, you are not being responsible with your career. Right? So you need to have continuous education. And some of these skills like communication skills, some of these new data-driven technologies like Power BI, a little bit of Python will help your future.
I totally agree, Jehan. So that again, it's a very insightful answer, Jehan. Thank you very much. So because, as you said, as you mentioned, technology, it enables, especially when it comes to in the context of data analytics. Indeed, when it comes to the advisory side of it, we need to have some sort of knowledge in Excel, Python, and certain softwares if we are to, leverage our skills. And when it comes to convincing and storytelling, it is really vital to get some sort of an experience in this, because again, depending on the companies, what softwares they use, what ERP systems they use, it will come in handy. Am I right, Jehan?
Daniel, can I add on that little?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Daniel, now as Jehan correctly mentioned, now there are a lot of experience which I can share because of this audit experience and also this accounting paternity. How much you have theoretical background, how much you have theoretical knowledge, but when you go and apply, and also when you go and understand a client environment and a business, and also their structure of the production and also the cost formulas and their businesses, it is very difficult if they don't apply it. So the application also simultaneously very important while they are getting the knowledge. So therefore, when they have the theoretical aspects, they should go on the job training as well. So unless you don't have the on-the-job training, how much you get the theoretical knowledge, it may not be actually workable for the business. So the theoretical knowledge should always apply, and the students should be able to, cater to the market. And tomorrow, when you go for a company for the job opportunity, he or she may be able to much competent because having theoretical as well as the practical aspects, and cater what is the business or the CEO of the board of interviewer expecting, you can meet their expectations. So that will be fit for the purpose what we are actually producing today. So thank you, Daniel. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more on this, Saman, indeed, because again, theoretically, when you say theory, I think what you were trying to, just to reiterate, so theory and practical goes hand in hand, but if one attribute is missing rather than that, then there is a big difference, because theory and practical is not always the same. Because you could have the theoretical knowledge, but when it comes to incorporating it practically, it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah, it's actually a combination, Daniel.
Yeah.
We need to have the theory plus the practical exposure and whatever the skills mentioned by Jehan.
Would you like to add any thoughts to it as well? What do you think?
No, I think Saman and Jehan covered, as Jehan said, like we are in the BPO industry and there are a lot of opportunities to the young accountants, and we are struggling to get them to get the correct technical and the soft skills. But there are ample opportunities for them to learn nowadays, isn't it, Jehan? Not like in our old days. So they are into this technology and there are a lot of modules, courses, and the materials.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At your fingertips.
Yeah.
Lots of information, lot of knowledge at your fingertips.
Yes, exactly. So the current technology itself helped them to bring to the whatever the current expected level, Daniel.
Right. So we see that technology is data analytics, all of these soft skills, all of these. So basically, whatever that you learn or whatever the young students are learning, irrespective of software, technical skills, soft skills, whatever it is, it's always one step ahead in terms of developing your core competencies in order to secure a good job with good, excellent prospects. So now we looked at the technological side of it, and we do have an understanding that is indeed vital. Now, irrespective of the profession we are looking to get it, it is evident that salary and opportunities are indeed non-negotiators when it comes to landing that perfect job, right? I mean, all of us go through this span in studying and working in order to get a good salary, right? Obviously. So, and who doesn't want any opportunities to grow professionally and personally? No one, absolutely. So Olu, as an entrepreneur, having occupied several senior management positions, in addition to being a co-founder, what does the accountant's salary sit within an organization compared to other senior professionals?
Yeah, great question, Daniel. I hope that you are not asking our salaries, right? Isn't it, Jehan and Saman? So, like, from my experience, Daniel, the salary varies depending on the industry and the location and the company size and different, and even our skills, your skills also, right? However, in most cases, generally, the accountants are in the middle management and they are get paid reasonably well. I think Saman and Jehan will agree with me. But in the recent past, Daniel, as both of the other panelists mentioned, we see a trend that the accountants have quickly climbed their career ladder. They are reaching senior management position. Especially, Daniel, when an accountant reaches this C-suite, they are offered a significant remuneration package. It's not only wages, it also the other perks like shares, bonuses, and etc. So this senior management position, plus if you are a specialist accountant, for example, a management accountant who need special analytical skills, like that they are in a high demand category and offer a good remuneration package. So one more thing, I think Jehan and Saman can contribute to that. In addition, if you are an accountant with a professional membership, maybe CA or ACCA, again, it will be a value addition to your profile to get a higher earning. Isn't it, Jehan, Saman?
Without doubt, absolutely.
Yes. Daniel, shall I add on this?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Yeah. It's a good topic you to
Yeah,
discuss and
interesting
debate
one.
and can talk whole day. But
Yeah.
I should give an advice to a let's say not a junior, but the newcomer, new entrants who are coming to the market. Always should not focus at the beginning the salary. Should not focus.
True, exactly.
He or she should be technically competent and should add value to the business and should add value to the board and also add value to the society and to the country.
Yeah, and also they need to, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Saman.
Then, it's a salary is coming behind of your capabilities and also
Exactly.
your skills and your profession.
Yeah.
So with all these, when you shining up, that is how we have come up in this ladder. I have done my articles when I was doing the audit articles for 750 rupees in 1997 for 2 years, 1997 and today is 2023. You can see the difference, inflation, cost of capital, everything. You can put to macro, micro, everything and calculate and see how much is the today's salary. And I am well equipped and also well good wealth today I have because I ignored the salary when I was doing my article at the audit firm.
Yeah, it's
right?
a good advice, Saman. Yeah.
So we focus on technical capabilities. We focused on what we can do for the business and also to the board of directors and also the audit committees. Whenever we get opportunities, we shine ourselves.
Yeah.
And along with that, as Olu very correctly said, when you brighten with your professional qualifications or the academic qualification, along with together, you get huge salary. It's more than millions.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And the people pay. But if you don't have the communication skills, if you don't have the literacy of computer, if you don't have the interpersonal relationship with the people, you don't get nothing. And the board will decide you to pay 150,000 at the interview. When you come and say at the beginning, without your personality at the appearance at the interview board, when you say that, sir, you can decide how much you can pay, that is okay for me. It is not the word. You must be demanded itself. And for that, you must be confident. So this is how the salary works according to my philosophy.
Yeah, agree, Saman. Totally agree. First, you have to
Yeah,
put the
over to you, Jehan.
foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, it was a very, I would say, a very wonderful piece of advice, Saman, that you are giving. And I believe it's going to indeed help a lot of students and aspiring individuals with that. So as you said, indeed, it is not the salary that we, not merely the salary that we have to see, especially now, when it comes to youngsters, all of us tend to go for the salary, right? You think they say the salary is the cool, because I think when we are young, most of us tend to look at things in the short term. But eventually, as you tend to get older, it eventually develops more into the long term. So yeah, in the context of long-term goals, yes, indeed. Right now, as you're young, it's all about learning. It's all about mastering your core competencies, developing and shining in whatever opportunity that you're being given, in order to enlighten yourself as much as you can about what you can do for the company, and not just that, and enlighten yourself as well to the management, so then what you're capable of. Saman.
Yeah, why, Daniel, why I say like that? When you are given a task, you should do not 100%, 200%.
Exactly. I completely agree with you, Saman. So when it comes to, like, now Olu did say that about the accountants' salaries, that it depends upon the level of superiority, right? Speaking of salaries is one thing, and you perfectly brought in, that salaries is not merely the essence that we are looking at, it's also the opportunities that are available as well, and both go hand in hand with each other. So, but if we are to bring it into these modern context, Saman, can accountants climb up the corporate ladder and hold leadership positions in the future, Saman? What do you think?
Definitely, yes. This is where I am today. I don't know any other examples we need. So we have come over that, and Jehan and everyone, Olu. So actually, you know why we didn't bother about the salaries only? We bothered about our capabilities, technical capabilities, and also our presentation skills, as I earlier mentioned. So if you go behind the salary, and it's another way of a barrier for your career. So now today you see a chartered accountant or ACCA or CIMA, they are in the field of the administration. They are running the business. They are directly engaged with the operations of the company. Now, there are a lot of examples. I cannot bring the name of the companies who are heading in that organization, a chartered accountant or ACCA member or CIA member or some other professions, right? Why? They have everything. They are multifunctional and multi-operators in the society. As a result, board of directors who are having wealth, they invest in the business because they have people who can drive the business. So a member who is any kind of the accounting or any profession, whoever, not only the accountants, but even other professions who are quite capable, they actually run the organization. They are the managing director, they are the CEO, and they are the chairman, not the chairman for the purpose of honorary. They because they know what they are doing. They came through the bottom. So as a result, they know how to drive at the top. Yeah, Daniel?
Yes, indeed. I completely agree with you on that, Saman. Especially as Jehan said, it's all about praising yourself and equipping yourself with the necessary knowledge that you need in order to take over, when it comes to being an asset to a company. So as Jehan said, 5 hours of reading a day, certain examples like that, and
A week.
including
5 hours a week.
5 a week. Okay, sorry about that. 5 a week, and including certain like other like on-the-job training and getting both as much of the theoretical aspect as well as the practical aspect of things in order to one day, be an efficient employee to the organization. So I hope by now all of us have gotten a crystal clear understanding of the key formalities surrounding the world of accounting. So we looked at the current trends in accounting, the impact of technological advancement and automation, and we were also enlightened on the salaries and opportunities one can expect in this context. But now let us look at how we can prepare for the future, or in other words, navigate through the future by, let's say, incorporating all of these elements or attributes which we have just discussed. So Jehan, how can, let us say, how can professionals harness the power of data analytics and soft skills to enhance their career prospects, Jehan? Over to you.
Yeah, so touching on the previous question, as Saman said, there is a world of opportunities for finance professionals. Today, CEOs, a lot of the CEOs globally are being selected from the CFOs. So it is the finance professionals today who are holding the senior most positions. And we had a fireside chat in ACCA showcasing all the different industries that finance professionals are today occupying, from banking to running hospitals, to running hotels, to tax consultants, so it's no longer a single route. There are multiple different industries, multiple different roles that finance professionals could play. And if you can remember this, finance is the language of business. If you know finance, so whatever you need to do in business, and that's something that I am educating my kids who are quite young, because they need to have an awareness of finance, right? It is the language of business. So if you equip yourselves with the right skills, the future skills, right, you are ready for the next wave. As everyone was saying, artificial intelligence today, analytics, data science, these are some of the future skills that you will require to thrive. In any area, we should not become obsolete. Our knowledge should not become obsolete. So we need to keep up with the times. And today you have, as young professionals, a world of opportunities, a wealth of knowledge at your fingertips. And you have fantastic partners like Briska Education who are providing some superb content which is very current and in demand both here and in other parts of the world. So I would encourage you to keep your skills current, keep learning on a daily basis, keep reading, keep awareness, and that way you will be able to be ready when opportunity comes knocking.
Thank you very much, Jehan, for shedding some light to this, I would say, very important question that most of us tended to have until now. So as just to reiterate what you said, Jehan, so it's all about renewing your mind with modern knowledge. So as Philip Kotler even said, because if we do not have the right, the modernized knowledge that is required of us, so, and if we don't keep up with the ever evolving technologies and other aspects that you have, so this year's winning strategy could be next year's losing strategy. So when it comes to learning as well. So yes, indeed, Jehan, it is, I totally agree with that as well. So Saman, would you like to add on to anything Jehan said as well? So what are the steps current accountants should take to prepare themselves for the future of accounting?
How many minutes you can give me? 2?
You
or
can,
3?
you can.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, there are 2 ways I would like to answer this question. One is the theoretical aspects. like, based on this AI and also the technology changes, the data analytic tools and all these things, they need to actually improve their communication and problem solving abilities. Because the lot of business acumens they need to showcase. But when you come to the practical side, now Jehan touched on that. Today, the current economic conditions, mostly we have seen that taxation. Now, we Chartered Institute actually having various kinds of seminars and sessions, symposiums, and lot of education processes we are actually putting into the market. And how many are actually engaging with these things, and how many are get used to these things. So how much we teach and how much we educated and how much is the business processes are there in place, we must maintain our ethical standard, the integrity, honesty, and also objectivity, and also the professional behavior we should maintain. Unless we don't have these are in place with our junior or the accountant who are having today, we may not have a future tomorrow. So my humble advice, you have to have a determination. Most of the accountants or the professionals, they think that we cannot go like this. They always talk like we can go like this, but we need to apply the strategy. Now, there are a lot of companies, they maintain their expenditure, but they don't realize some of the expenditure can be cut it off. And they have plenty of budgets maintained, but those are not rationalized budget. Those are not achievable at this condition and economics condition. So therefore, we need to think about as a professional accountant, how practical our budget calculations, how practical our expenditure proposals for the board. So these things need to look into. But while we are doing that, we need to maintain our professionalism. Like we say, we can have a lot of tax planning, right? There are a lot of assessments coming in. There are a lot of tax changes are coming in. Day by day rate changes and the new taxes are coming. But as an accountant, now because of you can say that you are only the financial accountant. No, as a tax accountant, think about it, how to plan those taxes into the organization and how we get the benefit, and therefore work out accordingly and get the right consultation into the business process and do the right thing to the business community.
Thank you very much, Saman. That was a really good piece of advice as well. It was a really big, I would say it shedded a lot of light, I believe, to the audience as well. And yes, because just to reiterate what you said in brief, so basically it's all about professionalism and it's all about maintaining your integrity at all times, which helps you to differentiate yourself from others when it comes to
that's right.
Yes. In any career at all. So Olu, so just to wrap up, do you think accounting is still a profession for the future?
What do you think, Daniel?
I think, yeah, it is a profession for the future, because I'm going to be honest, before I joined this webinar, I was kind of being a bit skeptical as well.
True.
But after hearing all the answers that all of you have given.
Yeah, actually, Daniel, by now, I think Saman and Jehan has shared a lot of thoughts on this to convey that it is a profession for the future, right? I don't want to repeat it again since we are running out of time. But despite of the advancement and technology, Jehan correctly convinced us that the opportunities are expanding. It's never went down. And also, Daniel, it's accounting and finance. It's a transferable skill. If you feel that you don't have a future, you don't want to be stuck in the accountant role. But that won't happen in future, as I see, right? But if the accountants, we are smart and continue to push ourselves forward, you can go into the various different significant roles, Daniel. So while the field of accounting may evolve with technological advancement, but as Jehan and Saman said, our core skills as accountant, our experience, the critical thinking, analysis, financial expertise, those will remain in demand. But keep one thing in mind, Daniel, but for us as accountant to thrive in the future, embracing an adoption to the new technology and the continual professional development, the training, as someone said, it is essential and it is vital. So though we are accountants, so we need to still learn and be in a learning culture.
Yes, thank you very much, Olu. Yes, so even though even the senior professionals, just to reiterate what you said, you come to a certain level and then you think, okay, I think I have had the necessary amount of knowledge. I don't need further knowledge. And that is eventually going to lead to one's downfall because they aren't able to keep up. The same thing what Saman and Jehan collectively said as well, because they aren't able to keep up with the modern ever-changing trends and revolution as well. So it is evident that the world of accounting indeed poses a bright future that everyone can see it by now. So we would now be throwing the platform in addressing any questions anyone would like to clarify. Since we have limited time, as much as we would love to address all your questions, we could only address the most important and prominent ones. So we'll be choosing questions as a result, and once chosen, as we mentioned it at the start of this webinar, you would be able to see it in the Q&A section of this webinar. So let me just check.
I think there is a question which says, are there accounting roles in the BPO sector? So if I could take a stab at that.
Yeah, I think, Jehan, you are the best person to talk about that.
Yes, definitely. We are all hiring. I'm definitely hiring in Informate. We have a lot of openings at present. I'm sure Olo is hiring, and all of my colleagues in the BPO industry are also hiring. So yes, the answer is a very strong yes.
And there are a lot of, for the moment, and even for next couple of years.
Right. Other questions? Let me check. Okay. So I can see several questions that we are having. So we would just be taking some of the questions as we said. Okay. So these are the questions. So while we would love again to answer all the questions. We'll be taking, I see a trend, I see several questions of the same content. So because of that, we'll be addressing the most, I believe, the most vital aspects of it. So when it comes, let me check. Okay, so I see one. Are there many opportunities for accountants in the BPO sector?
That's what we addressed, Daniel.
Okay. Oh, sorry, just give me a moment. As I said, we get so many questions of the same.
Next question that I can see is the big data analysis and data science a threat to
Straight to
accountants?
accountants, yes, that's
So
another hearing.
maybe someone could also answer that. I think it's a complementary. The accountants focus on a different area in advising the business in different area. Data science has a different role. So I think the two roles complement each other. I don't think it is a threat. And someone
I-
could
I-
also.
No,
Yes.
actually, I agree with Jehan. That would be the answer. And there is
And
another
also-
question: is taxation will get affect with the AI in
In
future? Now,
future, it's
now,
global, right? Yeah. Because the compliance is one of the hardest thing to replace with automation, isn't it?
There is another question. What are the accounting courses you would suggest for school leavers? So either of you can tackle that.
It's like, I can cover the BPO sector, Saman, like either Jehan. So since we are in the BPO sector for last couple of years and working for foreign clients, especially more than the Sri Lankans, we have seen the more than the Sri Lankan companies, like the tenders, they are using cloud-based accounting systems, especially the highly demanding, like the most popular things are the Xero and QuickBook. Also depend for the SMEs. Also depending if it is a large scale or a medium scale company, they go to for the ERP systems also. So we can't just say you have to learn this, but better to know the most popular things like Xero and QuickBooks. Because it's easy to understand and easy to learn for the school leavers, because it's asking for the school leavers, Daniel.
that's a good answer.
That's a very, I would say, again, is a very informative answer, I would say. So, yeah, as I can see, I can see several questions that are here at the bottom, but as we are almost running, we have run out of time already. So we would probably have a second part of this session in order to discuss further questions. So I hope and I believe that the audience have learned a lot from all three of you all. And as already stated, it is evident that the world of accounting is indeed, it holds indeed a promising future for aspiring individuals of all walks of life.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, if you have a lot of questions, what we have not attended, Daniel, you can forward that to us. So we'll try to have another session covering those areas. Isn't it, Jehan? Saman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you once again very much, Jehan, Saman, and Olu, for having taken time off in joining
Thank you,
us.
Daniel.
I completely understand, especially, Jehan, you said meeting, and Saman, you took time off yesterday as well. You had to cancel a meeting because of us. Thank you so much for it. And also Olu, you took, because I do understand what a hectic work schedule all of you must be having. And in joining us, what I would call a very eventful and an affirmative session.
Thanks for getting us, Daniel.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Jehan.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.